What's up, YouTube? Brett Hoover from Rants here. As always, guys, if y'all enjoy our content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave that comment down below. Alright, so it looks like the Batman might actually be getting a sequel after all, which I'd just be glad if the Batman would come out, because I've been waiting a very long time, and it seems like this movie is it's like it ran across a black cat, and now it's just cursed forever. Because it's just seemed like, of course, you had the pandemic that happened. You have all the controversy between Reeves and Pattinson. You have just a lot of things that slowed this movie down. And now it looks like we're finally going to get to see it. And it looks like they're going to actually have a sequel to it, which I'm still a little iffy on. But let's go ahead and let's read this article. See what this is all about. It says Warner Brothers and DC are like the Energizer Bunny. They just keep going and going and going to where? Blindly into the uncertainty and the unknown, where you can plan a sequel, no problem, regardless of how its previous installment does and before you even know. Hey, look, I had that problem with the Eternals. They were already wanting to make the Eternals have a sequel to it. Shang-Chi sequel. Why? You don't even know how good the movie is. You don't know if fans will accept it or not. Why are you already greenlighting a sequel to it? That's just, I don't know. Feels like bad business in a lot of ways. But hey, Hollywood is full of bad business. They don't mind, sinking money into a sinking ship if it sometimes hits the right notes with the right people, and not necessarily making money wise. But anyways, yeah. So let's go ahead and read this. As mentioned when we reported on rumored plans for The Flash having a follow-up, which in itself is even more ludicrous in my eyes, the Batman is allegedly guaranteed a sequel or trilogy prior to the first ticket being sold. The idea of a trilogy with Pattinson in it just seems incredibly far-fetched. I cannot believe Pattinson would agree to that. I don't know. Would it be the same director? Would Pattinson play Batman for 3 movies straight? I don't know. It says tipster Daniel Rickman, Batman on Film, and news site CBR claim a sequel to the Batman has the necessary green light, though there is no word on what direction it will take as far as stories it adapts. Alternatively, it's been reported Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson want to adapt Long Halloween, despite reports that their film in The Dark Knight already did that piecemeal. There are also rumors the Batman Part 2 will introduce Hush or Two-Face or Bane, but they have yet to be corroborated. The same goes for the speculation Reeves wants a trilogy like Christopher Nolan and Christian Bale got. I could see Hush. And this is just going by the way the Batman looks. It doesn't feel comic booky in any way by the of course, the preview we got to see of it. I could see Hush being a part of that. Two-Face, it's kind of iffy on me to think that they might can get Two-Face to work. Bane, definitely. I would say no, definitely no. You just can't make. Look, I thought Christopher Nolan did a great job in making somehow the Bane character feel somewhat realistic and somewhat justified in a lot of ways when it comes to adding such a character to the mix. But I just don't think you could. That's just not a territory I personally would want them to go towards, or if I was director, I would want to go towards. So many different villains that you could make, put out there. You could even, I don't know what they're going to do with the Penguin in this role. I don't know what they're going to do with Catwoman, but you could add those two, and those would be fit more into that universe than someone like a Bane would. Um, but that notwithstanding, there are more than a few who think a sequel being decided upon so soon is only natural when Reeves is developing spin-offs centered around the corrupt Gotham PD, which is basically just going to be Gotham made over. And the Penguin in his early years for HBO Max. WBDC is obviously invested in the venture and knows how profitable Batman can be. They'll understandably want to make their money back and put HBO Max over the top while they are at it, even if they risk oversaturating the market. Don't get ready for oversaturation. Look, if you've got Disney Plus, you're going to be oversaturated with Star Wars. You're going to be oversaturated with Marvel. If you've got HBO Max, you're going to be oversaturated with DC. So that's just the way it's going to be. And there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, I guess. I feel like sometimes maybe you can have too much of something. But as we've seen before, especially in Batman cartoons, Batman is something that they can make over and over. A Batman series could end, and they would just go and make another one. And of course, you have the success of Gotham. It doesn't, nothing about that shocks me that they would try that with Batman. Because I feel like there's so many stories that you can tell where that, you could show different points. Some can be darker than others, some can be lighter, some can be cartoons, some can be any of that. You could go a million different directions when it comes to Batman and any of the villains when it comes to Batman, like what they're going to do with the Penguin. I mean, the idea that they're even thinking about making Gotham PD after Gotham came out really just kind of shows at how they are just willing to just try anything at this point. And you know what? For the most part, I think they'll probably be successful in that. Goes on to state, The Dark Knight, a sequel to Batman Begins, is one of the most successful comic book movies ever made, so the studio has a precedent to look to. One problem is, though, there's no way of knowing how well the Batman will do, irrespective of high expectations for it. That's true. Look, I know a lot of people was thinking that, the Suicide Squad would do great. I thought the Suicide Squad was going to do great, and it completely failed in the box office. You just don't know with this box office anymore what is going to be a success and what is going to be a failure. It's not like even just a few years ago where you could put out a comic book film and, especially if you were Marvel, and it just, rake in cash, all over the place. It just doesn't work that way necessarily anymore. So I totally get that. It says one problem is, though, there's no... Well, I already read that. WB can greenlight a Flash sequel, which I think is absolutely ludicrous. A Wonder Woman sequel, which was terrible. A Batman sequel, or as many transgressive Superman projects as they want, which Superman and Lois is actually awesome. So I mean, look, I feel like Superman's another one that you can just kind of make as many as you want and people will still be cool with it. It won't matter if there are fewer and fewer people going to see them as long as they keep pushing flat, politically charged material. Which that's kind of out of nowhere. I don't know what flat, politically charged material that they're talking about when it comes to Batman. I personally haven't seen it. In that, I don't know what they're going to. I'm sure there's going to be something. This is 2021. You can't have some, even My Little Ponies without it being something that's politically charged in some form or fashion. So it doesn't shock me anymore. It says the Batman could buck the trend, but we have to wait and see when it hits theaters on March 4, 2022. Look, I don't know. If you would have, I keep always going back and forth when it comes to the Batman. Sometimes I think it's going to be a success, and then other times I'm like, okay, this is going to be a disaster. I don't know. It just all depends. I don't know how people are going to take with Pattinson as Batman. I don't know how they're going to take a darker approach. People seem to like the Snyder cut, which was darker in many aspects than the one that we got in theaters. So I mean, who knows? It could work. It could not work. But they're definitely going to oversaturate the market with it, so it doesn't matter if it works or doesn't work. At the end of the day, they're going to keep pumping it out. And that's just the way it is. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of shocked that Pattinson would agree to this. I'm kind of shocked that Reeves would agree or want this, especially after all the trouble of just this one movie has made. This is going to take up a lot of Pattinson's time. I mean, as an actor, I mean, this is going to be years of his life that's going to be towards Batman, and I can't believe he would necessarily agree to do that. I see why Reeves would agree to do it, simply because he knows that he's going to be making money and bank galore, whether these movies are successes or whatever, He's going to be making a lot of money from it. He's getting series and different things along those lines along with it. So, of course, he's going to want to expand upon that world. So yeah, I get Reeves' point of view on that. I don't really get Pattinson's point of view of why he would want, after all the problems that the Batman has occurred over, the filming of it, why he would want to go at it 2 more times at least. But anyways, guys, let me know what y'all think. Do you think the Batman will actually be a trilogy of sorts? Do you think they'll continue with the dark tone that they're going to do in this one? What do you think the stories is going to be about, and who do you think will actually be in them? Do you think Bane's a possibility? Do you think Joker? Do you think Catwoman? Two-Face? What do you think? As always, guys, if you enjoy our content here on Rants or Us, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Y'all take care.